If the only problem-solving tool you have is a hammer, every problem you have will end up being treated as if it's a nail. We really need to avoid this. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Armed Citizen channel. My name is Mark, and I do this video mentorship for all armed citizens, be they new or experienced. I talk about the things that I think no one else talks about. So please, like my videos, subscribe, and share them with people of all political persuasions. Let's get into the content. First of all, 80% of the assaults that occur in this country annually are simple assaults, meaning no weapon is involved. Unless you can prove a disparity of force that rises to the level requiring deadly force by using your only self-defense tool, your firearm, to solve this situation, well, congratulations. You have escalated the encounter, lost innocence in the eyes of the law, and earned yourself a felony aggravated assault charge because you deployed your firearm when you were not justified in its deployment. You became the aggressor. The circumstances that caused you to deploy lethal force are no longer relevant. The best way to mitigate a simple assault encounter is by having an everyday carry that includes less than lethal self-defense devices. Doing this has your tactical girlfriend Prudence's approval because not every negative encounter requires lethal force. Before we get into the less than lethal devices, I want to cover the types of aggressors we might encounter, then discuss just how effective these less than lethal devices will be against them. We will also cover the various devices themselves and touch on how they work. Finally, a warning to the ladies. There are three broad categories of aggressors. The first is the opportunistic aggressor who attacks because they think you're weak.
Lady, you crave trouble. You just don't want resistance.
They are motivated enough to get in your face and or try to take your stuff, just not motivated enough to continue if you're going to mount an equally aggressive defense. A vigorous physical resistance and the use of your less than lethal devices makes attacking you unprofitable. In other words, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Second, we have the determined aggressor who is there specifically for you. Think someone like police. I am not stating, implying, or suggesting that it is acceptable using less than lethal or lethal force on the police. What I do mean is once the police have determined they have to arrest you, nothing will stop them. You might stop that one officer, but that just means they will come in more numbers and bring more firepower than you can handle. So don't fight the police. It never ends well for you. A stalker also fits into this category, be they an actual ex-intimate partner or a generally crazy person who thinks they've had a relationship with you. For the people in this category, most less than lethal devices will be largely ineffective. The third is jokingly known as Florida Man. This is because he is bombed out of his mind on semi-lethal doses of at least 12 different illicit substances. His consciousness is on another plane of existence, and he is thinking you are a zombie lizard from outer space who came here to eat his brains. Pain is nothing more than an annoying mosquito to him. I'm not sure if a truck could stop him. All less than lethal devices are based on pain compliance. I use the term less than lethal instead of non-lethal because you can accidentally or intentionally misuse your less than lethal device and cause serious or fatal injury. This is why you need training and constant practice for most of these devices. For example, with the Byrna launcher, which I'll talk about in a second, the most effective target is the target's A zone, just like for firearms. This will make sure the chemical rounds rupture on the attacker's rib cage and the chemical will dissipate into the mucous membranes of the face. If you hit someone directly in the face with any Byrna pellet, chemical or kinetic, you can destroy an eye. Or if you get it into their mouth, it might go into their throat, causing them to choke. If you've ever experienced pepper spray in your eyes, imagine how bad it would be in your lungs. Shoot them in the face, intentional or not, you could be looking at a minimum of attempted manslaughter charges. There are a variety of less than lethal devices on the market right now. Some can be used at a distance, some require contact. Some might be able to be used in both modes. Let's go over them. First of all is the Byrna launcher. Like Kleenex or Xerox, they are a brand name synonymous with any product of that type. That's just because they heavily advertise. And it's just the new hotness. It fires kinetic, chemical, or pepper spray rounds. And all in all, it's basically a paintball gun. I cannot recommend this device carried as a less than lethal option with your firearm. It's got too much bulk. You're basically carrying two handguns. Now, if you live in the People's Republic of California, New York, New Jersey, and so on, where the concept of armed citizens are frowned upon, this might be your only viable option. And despite its bright coloring, this could be construed as a firearm since it has the same outline. Police who see something in your hand shaped like a firearm tend to shoot first and ask questions later because of that whole officer safety thing. Pepper spray, also known as oleoresin capsaicin, is basically hot peppers. You can get this in dispensers that spray a stream, a foam, a mist, or in something like pepper ball rounds for the Byrna. These cause minor but painful chemical irritation to your mucous membranes, such as your eyes, your nostrils, and your mouth. It gives the opportunistic aggressor the opportunity to reconsider their actions.
Sit down, sit down, sit down.
What
sit down.
You talking to?
Sit down. I'm not even bothering you. I'm not even bothering you. Don't come up. Don't come up on me. I told you not to come up on me. I told you don't come up on me.
Oh, where you going at? I told you since you got to get off this bus. Nigga starting stuff.
Yeah, I got the whole thing on video too.
The police are trained in the academy and as part of their annual certification to take a face full of this and then find and tackle and handcuff a dummy. You can work through it. After all, in that video, she made it off the bus. And you might have to, because in the wrong weather conditions, the spray can come back on you and take you out also.
You ready? Okay, we're ready. We're going to do this. We're going to pop it off. We're going to say, yes. I know. I was just going to say, this is like, come on, what's going on now? We're going to have to do this again. It's... Yuck. It's coming this...
Use of the pepper spray in enclosed spaces can affect everyone in that room as well. And that stuff will last indoors for a while if you get it on the walls or furniture. A taser is basically a human cattle prod meant to cause pain and interrupt muscle function with a high voltage, low amperage, high frequency electrical arc. It can be used at a distance or in direct contact. The bad news is, in 30 to 40% of the cases, lasers are largely ineffectual.
You're gonna get tased if you don't sit down.
I'll get you, bitch. I'll get you, bitch. I'll get you, bitch.
Physical strength and durability in contact sports are the largest factors to predict victory in hand-to-hand combat, and those get more important the longer the fight goes on. There are many contact devices that one can use. There are brass knuckles, saps, or blackjacks, which are just short and soft batons, monkey's fists, actual batons, kubatons, tactical steel cable whips, and more. A bright flashlight over 300 lumens can blind an opponent and or be used as a kubaton in a pinch. I really hate interrupting myself mid-tirade, but I just wanted to put in a real quick reminder to please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with all of your friends. That's how I grow this channel and get to more people. So, all right, back to myself. It wasn't portable, however, I had a 1,000,000 lumen handheld spotlight when I was delivering pizzas at night, so I could spot house numbers. That could blind and discourage a road rager. However, please don't blind him while you're moving. That could cause a tragedy. The good news is you can take a flashlight almost anywhere. You can't take other weapons or less than lethal devices. And like I said, it can double as a kubaton in a pinch. If you want to use any contact devices beyond a laser, the first thing you need to do is determine if it's lawful for you to have it. If it is, check and see. You may need to attend a class to receive a certification that allows for lawful use. I had to attend a class and have to carry a card in order for me to carry this baton, but it's only valid in Tennessee. I have to leave my baton in my vehicle when I visit other states that do not recognize a baton as a valid civilian self-defense device. The second thing you should do is seek out competent trainers and instructors for that device. And you need to practice with it at least as much as you practice with your firearm. For my baton, I am allowed to only strike the soft areas of the arms between the joints or the torso or the upper legs. A strike to a joint with a baton can cause serious damage, especially if I land a blow to the head or the throat. for each device. There are many non-intuitive things you need to know and practice so you are properly competent with those devices. In other words, you just can't pick one of these devices up and expect to be effective with them right off the bat. This is a Kubotan. It goes by some other names, and it is a handheld weapon. And sometimes it has a rounded tip like this, sometimes they're spiked, and these are meant to enhance your combat capability. It gives your hand more hitting power if you use it as a fist, and if you strike down with it, you concentrate all your force here instead of over your entire hand. Now, most people are not going to carry this because they don't know what it is, but they can pretty much figure out it is some kind of weapon. So what a lot of people carry is one of these. This is known as a tactical pen. It's made out of aircraft grade aluminum. It has a knurled mid-body for a good grip. It's got a point on this end so you can forcefully insert it into somebody. And then on this end, you actually have a glass breaker tip. And let's see if I can get it in close enough. If you can see the little divots in it, those are called DNA collection devices. In other words, if you stab someone with this, those are going to collect blood and flesh for later processing by the police. All Kubotans are designed to be slightly wider than your hand, so it doesn't matter which end. You need to know how to use this because there are ways to use it. You can strike nerve clusters and other things like that, and if you don't receive the proper training, you're not going to realize that. This is a monkey's fist and was originally a sailor's device. This one is nothing more than the steel ball that you can find in a pinball machine, wrapped up in some paracord and given a key ring on this end. And this is not unlike a baton. This is a heavy weight multiplied by its speed and the distance from your hand. This can hurt really badly. This was originally used by sailors. They would tie this to a very small line and throw it from ship to shore or shore to ship. And then the people who were trying to get and then the sailors on either end would use that to pull up the more sturdy lines to moor the ship or whatever. Here we go. This is my flashlight. This runs on a couple of 123 batteries, and it doubles as a Kubotan. And like I said, it has a very bright light. This can be used to blind somebody and allow you to break contact. So anything that you can use that sticks out both your sides of your hand can, in a pinch, be a Kubotan. A knife is not a less than lethal device. It is a deadly force contact weapon able to do serious or fatal injury. This requires training and practice above every other weapon. Not just in the use of it, but also critically need to know how to keep it if you and the attacker fight over it, and how to keep from getting stuck with it, or how to get the knife away from the attacker. Here we go, ladies. You are not the Black Widow.
Oh my God!
You're not Lara Croft, and you're not Ilsa Faust from Mission Impossible. You do not have the spinning moves that they do, and you certainly do not have their plot armor. I want to clearly illustrate this with this point. The Marines in 2015 did a study in mixed gender combat operations. It was called the Ground Combat Element Integrated Task Force, or GCEITF. The Marines did this with the intent to make it work. Everyone wanted for it to be successful. However, Marines being Marines, there wasn't a lower physical standard thing with the physical fitness standards between men and women, like the women who received an Army Ranger tab a couple of years ago had. I have the document in the notes below if you want to study it. The important point is, it was revealed that women are less physically capable than men. The best female Marine in this exercise fell into the bottom 5% of all Marines in the physical achievement standards. 19 of 20 male Marines can carry more, carry it farther, fight better, and all of the other warfighting skills ground pounders need to perform than the best female Marine. Now, are there individual women who are better, faster, and maybe even stronger than some males? Yes. Exceptions exist and they prove the rule. I am talking about broad picture, overall, statistically, not anecdotally. In this case, the plural of anecdote is not data. My point here is, ladies, you have to try to disable your attacker at a distance. Because you're female, especially if you're petite, you already have that disparity of force justification built into the situation that can allow you to use a firearm before a less than lethal device. Do everything you can to stay out of the attacker's reach. I know this sounds like common sense. If he gets his hands on you, 9 times out of 10, you're in deep trouble.
How deep in the shit would you say he was in, Jerome?
About up to here.
In the end, like firearms, less than lethal devices are not a magic talisman to ward off people with bad intentions. They only discourage some and do not stop the determined. Please, always be knowledgeable about your firearm, your less than lethal devices, your own capabilities and limits. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. Just one last request that you like and subscribe and share with your friends, and send me some feedback on the way so I know where to go and what I might have messed up. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day.